In zombie survival infection, each player takes control of a camp of humans attempting to outlive the flesh-eating undead, as well as the other camps. The game is played over two phases, the survival phase and the infection phase, with everyone starting in the survival phase. The infection phase is triggered when the hidden bite is drawn and played on a camp, giving them the infection die and making them the first camp in the infection phase. Each player begins with a phase card, an apartment building starting hideout card, and a no hideout card, along with a 10 survivor chip. These form the starting camp, with the apartment building card covering the no hideout card and the phase card placed next to them. Survival side up. The remaining survivor chips are placed in the center of the table, representing the last of the humans. For each player less than 6, flip over 1 10 and 3 5 chips to their zombie side to form the city center. For a 2 or 3 player game, only use the survival infection cards with the open symbol in the bottom left corner and return the cards with the closed symbol to the box. In a 4 through 6 player game, use all the survival infection cards. Remove the hidden bite event card from the deck, then shuffle and deal each player a starting hand of 5 cards. Then shuffle the hidden bite into the second half of the deck, forming the draw pile. The player who goes first receives the base and survival dice. Survival roll. Roll the base die and the survival die if you possess it. Add the results to any modifiers on your hideout and characters. Only include any survival die modifiers if you rolled the survival die. If you roll a survival symbol, double the result. A positive result is the number of survivors gained from the city center. A negative result means that many survivors are returned to the city center. Pass the survival die. If you have the survival die, pass it to another camp still in the survival phase. If there are no other eligible camps, you retain the die. Redraw. Draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. Take action. If an event card is drawn, it must be played immediately instead of taking an action. If no event card is drawn, then play one action, character, or hideout card. Instead of playing a card, you can discard up to 2 cards or trade with another camp. End of your turn. Pass the base die to the player on your left. It is now their turn. The first camp to enter the infection phase is the one on whom the hidden bite was played on and was given the infection die. Subsequent camps enter the infection phase only when they are past the infection die. Once a camp enters the infection phase, there is no going back to the survival phase. Infection roll. Roll the base die and the infection die if you possess it. Add the results to any modifiers on your hideout and characters. Only include any infection die modifiers if you rolled the infection die. If you roll an infection symbol, double the result. A positive result is the number of survivors killed, while a negative result means you take survivors from the city center if there are any left. Pass the infection die. If you have it, pass the infection die to another camp of your choice. Redraw. Draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. Take action. Play one action, character, or hideout card. Instead of playing a card, you can discard up to 2 cards or trade with another camp. End of your turn. Pass the base die to the player on your left. It is now their turn. Action and reactions. Action cards can be played on any camp. Reaction cards are played in response to an action or other reactions, not dice rolls or event cards. The target of the action gets the opportunity to play a reaction first, followed by all other players. More than one reaction may be played as long as it will have an effect on the outcome. When an escape reaction is played, the targeted camp is no longer affected by the action or any reactions played on it. Characters and Hideouts. Character cards can be played on any camp and have special skills that can aid or hurt a camp. Characters stay on the table until killed. Dead characters are removed for the remainder of the game. Hideout cards can only be played on your own camp or another camp without a hideout. A camp can only have one hideout at a time. When a camp replaces their hideout, the replaced hideout goes into the discard pile. If a hideout is destroyed, the no hideout card is revealed, with negative consequences for the camp. Destroyed hideouts are removed for the remainder of the game. Events. Currently, there is only one event in the game, the Hidden Bite. When an event is draw, it must be played and takes the place of that player's take action. Events, like most cards, can be played on any camp. When an event is played, it is removed for the remainder of the game. Losing. If a camp runs out of survivors and characters, the player joins the ranks of the undead. On their turn, they will now roll the base die and kill survivors or characters in other camps equal to the die roll. Winning. The game ends when only one camp has survivors or characters remaining, and that player wins. If all camps are eliminated by the undead on the same roll, the zombies win.